13 are the recommendations from the Regulatory Committee. So if I could ask Paul and Tanya to come forward, Pania to come forward. But Councillor Cooper, this is your committee. You might like to introduce the item.
And first, I just want to correct something. Mr. Asad Corbyn was actually in local government for 60 years because he was elected to the Licensing Trust until 2016 when he stood down. So he was still an elected public person.
I think I said 57, but you're probably right.
But it's 60 years. So yeah, and thank you for coming to the funeral and speaking so well. So today, as you know, the Regulatory Committee is recommending that the governing body adopt the Public Safety and Nuisance Bylaw Statement of Proposal for public consultation. So, Local Government Act requires a review after 5 years, as with all of our bylaws. And our staff have done a huge amount of work on more than 40 rules about use in public places from March to June. Based on the reports, the Regulatory Committee completed the statutory review, approved the option to propose amendments to the bylaw. And if the governing body adopts this, there will be public consultation between the 26th of October and the 5th of December. The Regulatory Committee appointed myself, Councillors Newman Casey and IMSB member Wilcox to be on the panel for deliberations. And we will make those recommendations back to the governing body in the first half of 2019 for their final decision. But we have Paul and Pania here if there's any questions.
Okay. Are there any questions to either Councillor Cooper or Paul or Pania? Councillor Casey.
It's a comment rather than a question, is it all right?
Why don't we move straight into comments and we can run them together.
Two things about this statement of proposal. The first is to congratulate the committee on removing the sentence about begging, which has for years caused me enormous stress. It's no longer in there. It means that we're safe. It's a safer space to be in. But the process by which this bylaw was regarded, I have to commend. It was amazing. It's a huge bylaw, and instead of, as we've done in the past, tackling it head on, we went through it section by section by section by section. And I think, I can only speak for myself, but I think I have a thorough knowledge of the whole bylaw. And it was that's definitely the way to go. So thank you very much for that process. It was great.
And thank you, Councillor Casey, though not a member of our committee, a regular attender and contributor. So, and also just to our staff, they packaged it up to make it easy for we people on an honorarium who are lay people and representatives of the community, and it was really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any further comments? If not, I'd better move it. Well, actually, Councillor Cooper, you've moved it. Yeah. And it's been seconded. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. To the contrary, no, carry. Item number 14 is the process for shareholder approval for a Wynyard Quarter transaction. That's in the confidential sector. So if we just, perhaps if I move that the recommendation that we note that there is a confidential report. I'll ask for a seconder. Seconder, Deputy Mayor. If there are no comments in this section. Noting that Councillor Simpson has declared an interest in this area. Okay, if there are no comments or questions, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no, carried. Item number 15 is again the standard summary of information and briefings. I'll move accordingly. It's been.
Have a question.
Yep, I'll come to that. It's can I have a seconder?
Yes.
Seconded, Councillor Simpson. Now there are questions. Questions from Councillor Wayne Walker.
Sure. Just have a quick question. Item 15 includes the minutes and notices of motion from the Devonport Takapuna Local Board that go to the open space issues in Takapuna around the car park and so on. I've just got a question arising, and that is, what is the process going forward around that space?
We don't usually have questions, so we don't have staff here present to answer that unless there's anybody at the top table that's familiar with that. Otherwise, if I might invite the councillor to take it up directly with the staff concerned.
I have done that, but I haven't got an answer.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know whether the local ward
Send me an
councillors...
email.
Sorry?
Send me an email.
Okay,
it,
yeah.
it was the officer's concern that I was interested in getting
Okay,
a response
um,
from.
But otherwise, Councillor Darby might be able to help you with that question. Okay, I'll put... sorry,
Mine.
Councillor Holz.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. Just on page 55, it talks about the Mayoral Housing Steering Task Force, and I see we've got the 6 monthly reports, and so the 6 monthly report must be due in October. Given the whole raft of the previous discussions, will that report come to, where does that report go? Because it does seem like a really good opportunity to actually underline, underscore and clarify some of the issues that we've been debating and discussing today.
Yeah. It would normally come to the governing body, but if we're having a session of the planning committee where these topics are under discussion,
Yeah.
that task force report will hopefully be available to inform that planning committee discussion.
Yeah.
So, but
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I just think it would be really useful, given the fact that a lot of this has been raised, that we start to get absolute clarity about where we're heading, what we're ticking off on the list of recommendations, and where we're picking up some of these issues. So that'd be awesome. Thank you.
okay, thank you very much. So I put that resolution. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
To the contrary, no, carried. We now come to our confidential agenda, and the reason for confidentiality in terms of items C1 and C2 is that the annual report is confidential until such time as it has been reported to the New Zealand Stock Exchange, which will be, I think, tomorrow at 9 a.m. For item number 3, obviously, it is a commercial in confidence recommendation, and it needs to be retained as confidential for that reason. So I'll move that the public be excluded for the confidential session, seconded by Councillor Simpson. All those in favour, please say aye. To the contrary, no, carried. So if there is any...